Can I have a motion to enter into public session for the July 10th, 2023 Yorktown Central School District Board of Education meeting?
Second.
Good evening.
Wait. No, you didn't ask for all those. You didn't ask for a vote.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. There's Peter. Good evening and welcome to the annual organizational meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence for our armed forces and those in the Yorktown Central School District community that have lost loved ones, especially the mother of Diane Angelini, the mother of Cherie Lanehart, and the father-in-law of Jennifer Forsberg. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next on the agenda, our appointment of and the oath of office for our newly elected trustees. Mr. Michael Mignani and Mrs. Catalina Tyndall, effective July 1st, 2023 through June 20th, 2026. Mr. Mignani, please rise and raise your right hand for the oath. You can read it out loud. It's easier if you just read it from there.
Okay. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of school board member of the Yorktown Central School District according to the best of my ability for 3 years beginning July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026.
Thank you. Catalina?
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of school board member for the Yorktown Central School District according to the best of my ability for 3 years beginning July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Next is the oath of office for Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Hatter, school year 2023-2024.
Not the clerk? No, we got to appoint you clerk.
For me?
Yes,
You could do that.
I need to make a motion.
I get so
Mike, can
excited.
you second the motion? To appoint Yvette Siegel to the position of district clerk for the 23-24 school year.
That's right here.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yvette, can you stand and give us?
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the oath of office for the district clerk according to the best of my ability for 23-24 school year. Now, Dr. Hatter.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Office of Superintendent of Schools for the Yorktown Central School District according to the best of my ability for the 2023-24 school year.
Thank you. Next is the election of officers. I'd like to call a nomination for the board president.
So I was thinking about this, and I think, and this is not a disrespect to anybody, but I think that, Jackie has been the board president for 18 years, and Mike has been VP for 7, and they've done an amazing, amazing job. But I think that someone else needs to learn those roles. Presumably Jackie and Mike won't be here forever, and the baton is going to need to be passed. So I just think that a third person on the board knowing the roles and what happens while Jackie is still here to assist with that would be helpful to the community. So for those reasons, I nominate Reshmi.
I fully
Yes,
understand.
I second that. I would second for all of the thoughts expressed by Lisa that I would definitely second that nomination.
I would understand what Lisa's saying, but I would like to nominate.
I'm sorry, yeah. I was just going to ask if there were any other nominations for the board president.
Okay. I would like to nominate Jackie. I think she's done a phenomenal job for the last 18 years, and I think that though I can appreciate what Lisa's saying, I still think that that would continue to move the board and district forward.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I'll third it.
At this time, I'm going to ask for a roll call and ask for everyone who they've nominated for. Mr. Mignani?
Jackie.
Peter?
Jackie.
Rashmi?
Rashmi?
Carol?
Rashmi?
Lisa?
Rashmi.
Catalina?
Jackie.
Jackie.
Jackie Carbone has been nominated board president. Congratulations. You want to stand and raise your right hand for the oath?
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the President of the Board of Education of the Yorktown Central School District according to the best of my abilities for the 2023-24 school year.
Thank you. Congratulations. Okay. Now, the board president will ask for nominations for the vice president of the board.
Okay, so would anybody like to give a nomination for vice president?
So I'll do the same. For the same reasons I said about the presidency, I think that we need to have someone else with the knowledge and experience of the positions. So for those reasons, I would nominate Rashmi for vice president.
Is there a second?
Yes, I second that.
Are there any other further nominations?
And again, I'll nominate Mike Mignani as the vice president.
Is there a second? I'll second that. We'll do a roll call vote. Lisa?
Rashmi. Rashmi. Sorry.
Cheryl?
Rashmi?
Rashmi?
Rashmi.
Pete?
Mike.
Catalina?
Mike.
Mike?
Mike.
Jackie is Mike. It's 4-3. Mike is the vice president. Mike, can I please take the oath of office?
Yeah. Sorry, can't read. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of Vice President of the Board of Education for the Yorktown Central School District according to the best of my ability for the 23-24 school year.
Going to move on to board appointments. Resolve the Board of Education makes the following appointments for the 23-24 school year. District Treasurer is Elisa Savartskin. Deputy Treasurer is Denise Zapata, and Claims Auditor of Steve Robbins.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Are any of them here? Yvette, will you give them the?
Yes, I will.
Okay. We have other appointments. Resolved that the Board of Education makes the following appointments for the 2023-24 school year. It is A through Z.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Designations. Resolved the Board of Education makes the following designations for the 23-24 school year. A through G.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Authorizations. Resolved the Board of Education approves the following authorizations for the 23-24 school year. A through Q.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the supplemental defense and indemnification resolution as stated below.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Can I have a motion to adjourn the organizational meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I have a motion to open the business meeting for the July 10, 2023 Yorktown Central School District Board of Education meeting. Can I have a motion to go into executive session for the matters related to the employment history of particular pedagogical employees and non-pedagogical employees?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Can I have a motion to go back into public session?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Yorktown Central School District Board of Education meeting for July 10th, 2023. Yvette, did anyone sign up for public comment? No? Then I'm going to ask for a point of order. Can we just move one item on the personnel agenda up to the top?
Sure.
Okay. Can I have a motion to appoint Caroline Amita as the Director of PPS?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ron, did you want to say anything?
I just want to share that we went through such a thorough search. So obviously our board knows this, our community can hear this. We went through such a thorough search process. We met with candidates from all over New York State, as far away from the Buffalo region, to some candidates who are more local. And we just found, and the committee found, that head and shoulders, Caroline was the best PPS director to replace the sitting best PPS director, Mike Rosen. Caroline, we're delighted to have you join the cabinet and to join our leadership team in this capacity. We wish you many years of success. And Caroline, thank you so much for your contributions to the school district. You begin your 8th year here in Yorktown, and you've already given so much to our school district, to our students, and I look forward to your continued work within our district. Congratulations, Caroline.
Congratulations. Okay. Let's go back to the top. So we have to start with a public hearing. So I need a motion to open the public hearing on the Code of Conduct.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm going to let Ron and Cheryl talk about the Code of Conduct. I don't know, Cheryl, you want to start, and then we'll let Ron fill in?
Sure.
Okay.
I guess it was the beginning of the school year. We started out to comb through the Code of Conduct. We added an additional meeting each month to go through it and brought in anyone who could have any knowledge of any changes or ways to make it more user-friendly or to address issues that have come up throughout the past years. I'm not sure, I can't remember exactly when it was last looked at. So we spent a full year with our personnel and our staff meeting monthly, and at this point we feel comfortable enough. We've made many edits at the end to make sure that we've dotted every I and crossed every T, and at this point, it's ready for its final review.
Jackie, if I could.
Go ahead.
So I'm a part of that committee that worked on that Code of Conduct, and I just want to thank Cheryl, Jackie, and Dr. Hatter for everything you did, and Deirdre, you were there. Everybody who helped contribute, because it was a long process that involved many people coming in to help. So thank you to the three of you and Dr. Hatter, to your entire team.
You too, and your last suggestion, actually, when making the sections, it's beautiful now. It's so, but you're right. It's so much easier. Everybody contribute, and well, you added a lot more than that, but it was we had a lot of contributions. So thank you too. And I want to thank. I know that Vicki Garrett and Marie Horowitz joined us for many of those meetings too. So everybody's contribution was well worth it. So we have to open it up for public comment on the Code of Conduct. Okay. So can I have did anybody have any on the board have any questions on the Code of Conduct?
No.
Okay, then.
How will it be published to the families?
We'll post it to our website. It'll be available to our website. It'll also be when parents log in to the student portal or the parent portal for the very first time. There will be an acknowledgement there, so they'll be able to parents will be able to access the Code of Conduct when they first log in for the new school year to the parent portal.
Are they going to be told that it's a brand new one? It's not the same yes that they've been doing for all these years?
We can certainly include that language, absolutely.
I think we should.
That it's been revised and
Absolutely.
amended. We can certainly include that language.
And then it's also available on the website if
Yes,
someone wants
yes,
to click on it?
absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
So can I have a motion to close the public hearing on the Code of Conduct?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're going to move on to the superintendent's update.
Is there
You're out of order.
So I have a few updates that I'll share with you. In addition to the Code of Conduct being newly revised, the District Safety Plan has been updated. It's posted to our website. I anticipate the Board of Education adopting the 23-24 District Safety Plan at their August 28th meeting. So if there are any comments from the public, you can certainly send Ms. Sanfilippo an email if you'd like to, if you have any questions or comment on that. Our ESY program is underway. We have 62 students under Mike Rosen's leadership coming to our extended school year program. We have students in our summer reading program, which provides essentially general education students with some additional skill practice K through 8, and that's underway. That first day was today, and that's a 3-week program, so we're looking forward to welcoming our students. Today was supposed to be day 1, but unfortunately the weather had other plans for us. And before I even continue with the report, I hope that everyone watching this is well and safe and doing okay after the storm. That was some storm, and unfortunately, in addition to some of the impact that it had on property, it also had an impact on our program here today. We received late notice about the state of emergency that was going to be declared, and we took swift action upon receiving notification, and we canceled the program for our ESY students and for our summer skills program. Those will resume tomorrow, and we'll send something on our social media to let parents know that the programs will resume tomorrow. In addition, I just want to share some of the items that are on this evening's agenda so that our community, certainly the board's aware, but so that our community is also aware. There's an agreement for Soaring Eagle at French Hill to be extended through the month of July. Soaring Eagle had made the request of us to extend their lease. They were having difficulty finding a location. They asked to extend it for a month, and certainly us being good community partners allowed that. And we will occupy the space for our pre-K program, which is going very well. Planning's coming along very well, and we're looking forward to welcoming about 130, 140 students in our pre-K program. But that lease agreement is for a single month, and it was at the request of the business.
Dr. Hatter, could I ask, will that impede our ability to get everything ready for the pre-K?
It will not. So Soaring Eagle, that location is going to serve as office space from some of the relocated community partners that we have. The classroom spaces have been evacuated at this point, so they're unoccupied. Our facilities team continues to work on those, and just some staff will have to wait a little bit longer to have their offices prepared, but they will have offices nonetheless at French Hill. The Aramark, another item here, the Aramark food service contract, we are heading into our last year. So this authorization that I anticipate the board will provide is the last year of Aramark's contract with us. They've been great partners. However, the state is very specific with regard to the bidding process when it comes to the school lunch and food service provider. So we will have to prepare bid specs during this school year, but I wanted to share with our community that this is the final extension that we're allowed to grant to Aramark. And then finally, we're approving an overnight trip. You previously approved the overnight trip for our aeronautics club. How wonderful. They qualified for a championship event in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It's absolutely terrific. We're so proud of the students. We were able to rework some of the numbers on the transportation costs, and that's why we're coming back with some additional approval. Otherwise, summer is going well. Congratulations to Caroline. Things remain busy. I often get the question, are the schools open in the summer? Yes, we have hundreds of students who are attending school here. We have our entire office staff. The schools are operating. We're closing out one school year, opening up another school year. It's an exciting and busy time in our school district. We miss our students greatly. We miss them dearly. I'm going to be organizing some events over the summer so that I can make some connections with our students despite the summer months. And I'm looking forward to opening my doors at Central Office to welcome some of your children in. So more to come on that.
Just can I have one more update? Can I ask how are the parking expansion is going at Mohansick?
Yes, that was put on pause today because of the rain.
Well, yeah.
But the project began the Monday after graduation. They've been working in earnest. It's coming along nicely. They're on schedule, on budget. Everything seems to be proceeding quite well with that project. And the park, just for our community, so you're aware, we're adding some additional parking space to Mohansick for any of the families whose children attend Mohansick. I think you'll attest to some of the difficulty in parking on that campus. And as a result, the steering committee and the board ultimately made, in my estimation, the good choice of expanding parking spots at Mohansick. So that project is coming along. We'll certainly have that done before the school year begins, well before that.
Thank you. We have board discussion items. So we have to discuss board committees. I shared with the board a list of current committees, and I apologize if I missed anything or didn't. I was trying to do it from memory. But we have to talk about our current committees, current membership, and where we want to move, if anybody wants to move and change committees. So we have 4 standing committees: Audit, Fiscal Advisory, Policy, and Steering. We also have board liaisons. Yes, go ahead, Ron.
May I add just...
Go ahead.
I know it's a discussion for our board and for the community. I'm just wondering if the board may want to consider maybe an educational vision committee where we look at some of the class size, for example. We have class size guidelines, and what's the current research say? I'm not quite sure when those were set. But artificial intelligence, AI, is a very big topic. So I'm not quite sure if there are any other committees, but maybe in August. I don't know when the plan is to make committees or to settle them, but I just share that something in the educational realm, I put that out there, maybe in the sustainability realm.
I think that we probably should at least set committees for the summer and then bring these proposed, and if there's additional ones, to discuss in August. I mean, we can't just discuss them now that they're just being brought up. And then if we have to rejigger committees again at that point, maybe we should do it that way. I mean, there's 2 here, so I don't know whether there's additional ones that anybody wants to talk about.
Are there other committees that the board wants to consider, or besides? Yeah, I mean, Ron, I thought I heard sustainability and
Sustainability, educational vision, kind of like a higher level committee that focuses on education, teaching and learning. Those are some important conversations to be had at a high level, at a board level.
Should we flesh them out and define them a little bit more so that then we can go from there and decide who will chair and be on those
Exactly.
committees?
That's what I think we can maybe do that at the August meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't flesh them out now,
Right.
but maybe we can,
So should we come back to this topic in August as another discussion item?
well, I think we just need to make sure, because Catalina's not on any committee, so we have to make sure that she gets on something. And then, like I said, we can always change committees again in August. It's just I think we need to figure this one out for now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. But with Dr. Hutter's suggestion, I like those suggestions, but I think we need some, what are you seeing for us? So, and I'm not putting you on the spot to do it now, but, maybe let us know some point over the summer by email what you're envisioning and who would be a part of it and what the goal of it would be to accomplish. And then we have something to work on in August.
Yeah.
Of course,
I agree.
absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate you taking
You know what,
them
maybe
under
we can do it as
consideration.
a Google Doc that people can add their comments into, so
Sure.
we have a working document we can come back in August to work on.
Thank
Sure.
you for considering.
I mean, I guess also if there's any other ideas for a committee, we should probably vet that too,
Correct.
internally, or
Or if the community has some idea and they
Yeah.
want to email
Yeah.
the board and let us know, and
Yeah.
with the same objective with the superintendent, what is it you envision? What would be the goal? Who would be a part of it? When would it meet? That kind of stuff.
Right.
If there's someone in the community that's got an idea for a committee, obviously that's something we welcome.
Right, and so we can have a whole proposed committee
Yeah.
discussion in August and
Yeah.
spend quite a
Sure.
bit of time on it. So, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so how do we want to address
The current
the
committees?
current committees and Catalina?
Well, we have 2 ways to do it. First of all, Catalina, we should ask you where you would like to be slotted in, but there are 2 open slots at this moment anyway, but where would you want to be slotted in?
I've sat in as a community member on the policy board, so I would like to be a member of the policy board committee.
Okay. The issue with the policy committee is it meets during the day, so could policy meet in the afternoon? Well, no, we did that. I mean, I would be willing, because we can only have 3 board members, I'd be willing to step aside if you guys would do afternoon meetings so she could join policy. I don't know how you feel about doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So with respect to the policy, I don't have a problem with changing the time. One, we have to make sure that works for the staff members that are going to be there. But also, I know the 2 meetings a month was because of the code of conduct. However, I found that to be super useful. And if it's possible to continue 2 meetings a month, I think that that's a good way to do it. And the time doesn't matter to me, right? We could figure that out. And if it only works for Catalina in the afternoons, then 4 o'clock is fine.
The administration, that time is excellent for the administration as well. Thank you.
I mean, that's fine, but I would like to see the 2 a month continue. We have a lot of policies to go through. Every meeting, the agenda is this long. We've got a lot to go through. So 2 a month, and we meet for about 2 hours, so that's 4 hours a month. I think that's something we should look into doing.
Would that work for you, Cheryl?
Yeah, that's fine with me. If we need to pull in staff, do we have to be within certain time parameters, like 5 or 3 o'clock? Or
that can present a challenge with some notice. I'm sure we can make it work, schedules work. But yes, I think the genesis of the daytime meetings is that if we wanted to include staff, it was just more conducive to that. But I'm sure we can make an afternoon schedule work.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Would that? Do we know that works for Margot?
Does she work for us?
Yeah, but she's being a lawyer. She has a schedule, and I don't know whether she's in her mind, slotted out a morning every month, or if 4 o'clock works. Maybe we need to check that.
You know what you could do? You could continue the morning meetings for the summer. And then, maybe she can readjust her schedule moving forward because you do have that opportunity.
So maybe Cheryl, as chair, you could reach out to Margot and let her know what we're thinking, make sure she's on board.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll step down from policy and you can go on policy.
I'll contact her.
All right, does anybody else have any comments, or do you want to all wait?
I would love to be on the fiscal advisory committee. There's an open seat there, right? Good Anthony's seat. So, before I commit to anything,
That sounds good.
When are the meetings?
Right now, fiscal advisory has kind of locked into meetings early mornings, 8:30 is when we typically meet.
Early, okay.
Yeah.
Then I thought it was going to be like middle of the afternoon or something. So no, that
once
would.
a month, or how often?
No, it's as needed. It's quarterly to. I mean, we probably meet 6 times a year. It's a lot during the audit piece. During the budget piece. But we're not meeting over the summer. It's more intense in the winter, and we check in, and then if there's something that comes up that we need to have a meeting for, we just have a meeting. It's a little bit more ad hoc.
And if someone wanted to be on the audit committee, I would give that up.
Well, you'd have to give it up if you want fiscal advisory because we don't mix the two.
Oh. So who wants to be on the audit committee?
Well, since Jackie just stepped down from policy.
No, but I'm on fiscal advisory. Sorry. I think we're going to pass it over to Cheryl.
I gotta say, audit is just not that bad.
Rashmi, it's no offense. We know you run a really good committee.
Audit is a great committee. It meets.
It's because you do such a good job, Rashmi.
I have to say, speaking for the audit committee, the topics that we choose to review are timely and important to the district, and then there's the mandatory review that has to get done, and it provides a lot of insight into how things are run in the business office, how things are run with the student organizations. It's actually a very good committee. It might be a good committee for Catalina to be on since it meets at night.
I know. Unfortunately, I could only do after school.
No, it's an evening one.
Yeah, it's an evening one. I was at, yeah, usually it's after school.
7,
We
yeah.
do have a meeting here and there that's during the day, but usually it's in the evening.
Usually the evening.
Yes, but I try to be accommodating, but a lot is driven by my own schedule and what I can do, and the staff is available during the day. So it really depends on what works. But it is a great committee.
It is.
Are they cookies? No.
We will bring them.
It's not in the policy. There were cookies.
Barbara brings
Oh,
snacks.
snacks, yeah.
Snacks are only in policy. Sorry.
Yeah. Set the bar high.
That's why it's a hot committee.
Yeah.
And if are there any meeting in the summer? Because then we're going to talk about this again in August, correct?
Right, so
Or we're gonna-
steering meets all summer long. Steering will be meeting every other Tuesday, on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. for about 2 hours. And we will continue that for forever. Policy will meet over the summer as well, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Audit.
Yeah.
The audit, everything meets.
We meet year round. Everything meets.
Yeah.
I was wondering if maybe I'll start with policy, and then can I go and sit as a community member for the steering and audit? And
Yeah, well, audit would have an open seat, so as long as you're a third
Steering
board
has an
member,
open seat.
and steering has an open seat, so if you wanted to come as a board member to see what they were about, and then we can make final determinations in August, and that way you have a kind of a well-rounded
that's I think
thing
so.
about what's going on, and,
Mm-hmm.
all
I
right.
think I'll do that.
Does anybody else want to switch, to talk, to? No, so we'll put Carolina on policy, I'll come off, we'll take Pete off of audit, we'll put him on fiscal advisory. You'll slot in wherever you want to visit.
Yes.
And then we'll come back in August and we'll talk about the proposed committee, see if there's new ones we want to put in, and then make final determinations. Is everybody good with that?
Yep.
So there are a couple of things that I wanted to talk about too, at the end of this.
So just a quick, so Peter, do you want to then stay on audit until August?
That's
There
fine.
are-
I mean, I
It's
can't.
not that bad.
No, I mean, I can.
Are there meetings?
I can do that. I can do both till August,
Maybe.
till August. That's fine. Mike, are there any fiscal advisory meetings over summer?
No, if we would have had one, it was the end of the school year, that's the last one that we do, because it's
I
just
can-
about
and
closing
then-
up the books.
I could stay on till Catalina's ready to take over.
Okay. I did want to discuss a couple of other things and about how we report out on committees. I think if we could come up with maybe a standard format that gives more transparency, that then could be uploaded to the website, which came down for committees, but I think we should redo that website and make it more transparent to the community, and then maybe upload our notes to it so they do see what's going on. And there's a couple of districts that have, Yvette was looking, have different reporting, so maybe we want to look at some of those and come up with something that we're all reporting the same format. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I mean, I think that's a great idea. Maybe the chairs of each committee could get together and make a determination as to what is the best way to do it. I don't know who would do the uploading first. I don't know how all that would work, but
Oh, Brian.
it would be Yvette. It would be Yvette. Yeah, so maybe the chairs and Yvette could all get together and figure out the best way to handle the reporting and what it should include and what,
Right.
how to, the timeliness of it, that kind of stuff.
Right. And then,
Yvette, have you already found some, or do you want us to take a look? Okay, great, okay.
she
We'll take a
could
look at that.
share them with all of us.
Sounds good, okay, thank you.
We also should maybe develop a calendar of meetings for our committees, so everybody knows when they're meeting, and again, the community should know. I know policy and audit get listed on the bottom of board docs, but maybe there's another format, so again, everybody knows what committees are meeting when. It just goes to more transparency for the community.
You mean to like come up with a calendar for this school year in advance?
Or
That kind
just
of thing?
a monthly one, so,
Okay,
in
gotcha.
August,
Yeah.
these are the committees that are meeting,
It would be hard to do that for the school year in
Oh, no.
advance, right? Yeah.
It's hard to do it for next week.
Yeah, right. Yes, we know that.
And then, I guess, Reshma, you talked about discussing agenda settings for committees?
Yeah, so I know this was one of the takeaways, I think, I don't know, I hear myself, but I don't know if you hear me. I think this was one of our takeaways when we met the last time. So we don't have an issue on audit. Generally, I set the agenda along with, if there's important matters with Lisa, Sanfilippo, Dr. Hatter, of course. But I think there was some confusion over how the committee meeting agendas are set. Do I recall that correctly? So was it steering, or was it policy, or what else? Fiscal? Those are the chairs that's it. So, like, for example, one of my questions about the policy committee, so the policies come, but they kind of seem like random. So I was curious to know how they get, like how we choose, well, this month we're looking at these 10, or like how does that happen? Because they seem to be all over the area. So my question, I think I asked in the last meeting, was who sets the agenda? And I was told that Yvette, I think, sets the agenda for the policy meeting. So then maybe, I don't know, Cheryl, if that's something you want to do, or work with Yvette.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll work with Yvette.
That's like awesome.
Yeah, Yvette's great.
Be my guest.
I think we've gone by a general rubric of oldest first. We've been really trying to go through a lot of the older policies that hadn't been touched in a while. Then we go by, some of them are mandatory that we have to review each year. We have other ones that come up on an as-needed basis. So, you know, we refer to the code of conduct, or we refer to a policy in need at the time, and then we find that maybe it needs to be reviewed again and things have changed, or it's not as clear as we'd like it to be. So that's sort of the prioritization schedule we use. Other things come into play as well, but that's what, you know, as we move forward, we're certainly...
And then you have a plan going in, and there's something else critical that has to come up.
Right, or one takes longer than another. So we'll continue on that, and any other suggestions come up, then we'll certainly incorporate that as well.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions or comments? Or
Does that address the question, though? Is it,
agenda?
yeah, who's setting the agendas?
The chairs.
The chair.
The chairs,
Yeah.
yeah.
Chairs.
I'll work with
That's
Yvette
what-
on policy,
okay.
yeah.
Right. You know, steering is set more by the construction managers and the architects, and so that one is not really the agendas.
But you're
Yes.
chair of steering, right?
Yeah, I'm chair of steering.
So, I mean, you get that information. I mean, the architect doesn't say, you know, it's your meeting, right? So you decide with whatever they raise are the issues, but you decide what
We're
you
discussing.
discussed, right? I mean,
Well, it's a little bit more free-flowing than that, because we're following a path to get there.
so is there a way that the agenda for the steering or even the fiscal advisory could be published in advance? Like we get a written agenda for policy. Sometimes we get a written agenda for audit, but we at least know what the topic is going to be at that audit meeting because we get the auditor's report or whatever the case may be. Could there be an agenda that's published, even if it's the day before, so that someone who wanted to go to those meetings as a community member and they're interested in that particular topic knows that it's going to be discussed that day?
Yeah, I guess because steering is following a path. We're talking about the same things over and over again. It's not a new topic. It's not a new policy. So I guess it's a little bit different because it's always the same general topics. We're just getting more in depth in each one, going back with questions, coming back with answers for the next meeting.
But if it's following the same thing week over week, then there's 5 topics on it. To me, that's the agenda. These are the 5.
Okay.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
And I have standing meetings like that cover the same items, and there's an old business and new business section to it of the agenda. And
So
to me, it's just a simple. If it's the same thing over and over, that becomes the agenda.
So there's certain things that I can say we can definitely publish, or other things when we talk about security and stuff that we can't publish.
Sure.
So, but we can obviously come up with a standard format. It's not a problem. We can work on that. Okay.
Would we consider renaming the steering committee to be projects and facilities to kind of reflect the work of the committee?
Change the name of it?
Yeah, just rename it to be.
I don't know why it's called steering.
Yeah, like projects and facilities. I feel like it needs to reflect what the work that's done, and it's a lot of work, and continues to the summer, and I think something that reflects what it actually does would be more meaningful.
So
But-
you would say projects and facilities?
yeah, if that's what you think is accurate, like if you think that that accurately reflects the,
It's the Projects and Facilities Capital Committee. It's all around setting
Yeah.
the structure of what, I'm sorry. It's the structure of what you're going to be doing to the facilities over the course of a given period of time. And how much and capital is a big part of those committees, isn't it?
capital to me, I think belongs more in fiscal, but again, I'm not on either one. So I
Well, you know
wouldn't
what,
know.
how about, we'll discuss the name of the
Yeah.
committee in
Yeah,
the committee meeting.
Yeah, or see what
Yeah.
other
Call it what
communities
you like.
call it.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the
There's a
people
lot
who
that
are.
goes into it.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Steering, I don't know where that came from.
It
It's
was
been that
it's
forever.
steering.
Yeah.
since we
I'm
were-
looking at the people who are on the committee, and then they're all facilities people plus
Yes.
Lisa Sample.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, and definitely come up with a new name. Okay, anything
So,
else?
I just want to clarify.
Sure.
Are we looking to, because what I've heard is we want to have an agenda, but we don't typically post these, and so is that where we're going with this? We want to be able to post an agenda to the public ahead of the meeting? Or did I misunderstand?
No, that's
I
what
think
I was
that's-
saying,
yeah.
sure.
Okay, this is totally different than what we've ever done, so that's why I'm just asking for clarification. Is that the direction we all
I
want
mean,
to go?
unless you see a reason why it shouldn't get posted.
Yeah, the
fine
audit
by me.
meetings are work a bit differently than the other committee meetings. So audit meetings have to be noticed, which they are. Thank you, Vet. And they are also, we do publish minutes from those meetings. Again, we're required to. Thank you, Vet, for posting them. I think the piece we're trying to standardize, I think, is the reporting in the board meetings.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with whatever format is chosen. Probably going to be popping a lot of information from the minutes and,
Oh,
the agenda.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is,
Yeah.
we're all gonna be doing the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But I think if it's a standard format, we all know what to
Yeah,
expect. I
sounds
think it
good.
makes it a little bit easier. All right, board liaisons, are we all good with where we are? Health and safety is Mike, PTA is Rashmi, health and wellness is Peter, and West Putt, don't have to be. Somebody else wants it.
What is it? Oh, Westchester Department
Putnam
School Board.
Yeah. So is everybody happy with the liaisons? Anybody want to change that? Or we can discuss it again in August?
So not to nitpick, but health is in both places. So is it different health or it's health and safety and health and wellness?
I think it's a wellness committee, maybe not
Really?
health and wellness.
The wellness committee is more around the food service contract, and in addition to health. There used to be classes that they held for teachers, like yoga and things like that. So that's where the health and wellness came in. But a lot of it was spent around the food service and the food that went into the district.
So is it health and wellness and then safety?
It's the district safety committee.
To
Yeah.
me, it's just
So-
it's just safety.
Right. So
Okay.
I think, yeah. So
It's the
let's-
district safety committee.
Right.
That's all.
So,
So I'm
let's
just wrong. That's
yeah,
all.
just make sure the health goes one place.
Okay. No, you know what, I'll share this as a Google Doc, and anybody who wants to make edits or changes to it can do it. All right, and then, when we got it all set, we can publish it, but we'll still keep it private till we're done. All right, are we good with that? Okay. That's one discussion down. The next one is, our board areas of focus, and that's blank because it's kind of just a free-form discussion as to where we want to go. Ron, do you just want to run over what our areas of focus were for the 22-23 year?
Of course, there were 5 areas of focus for the 22-23 school year. Communication was one. Wellness, but overall wellness, encompassing mental health, social emotional health. Also, there was a bully prevention component to that. Cultural awareness and equity was another area of focus. There was an area of focus around fiscal responsibility. And the 5th area of focus was on eSteam 3.0. though it was the next level of our work in that area.
Any thoughts?
So, Dr. Hatter, I have a question. So, the board defines these broad areas, correct? And then you and your team come up with what the goals are for the administration within each of these areas.
Action steps to
Yeah,
advance the work of the goal.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, some of these, to me, some of these like wellness and fiscal responsibility, I think they should carry over because I think there's still a lot of needs. They're almost aspirational goals in the sense that they're never going to be finished. I don't know how people feel about that. So I don't know how you feel about each one of these.
I'm good with carrying over all the 5. I know we spent a lot of time last year identifying these and kind of consolidating our thoughts. And to me, I don't see the need to drop any of the 5. I think all the 5 are important. Unless there's a compelling reason to combine them or something like that, I would like to keep the 5. So, how do you feel?
I would agree. I think I would ask Dr. Hatter, as far as eSteam 3.0, I mean, are we at 4.0 or sort of like, where do you see your vision and the direction going next? Do we need to redefine it, or are we, continue, or do we just need to assume that it's happening and not be a board goal? What are your thoughts on eSteam?
I do, first of all, appreciate the board making that one of their areas of focus. One very important piece for me is opening day when we have all 600 staff members in the auditorium. They all get to see the board areas of focus, and it comes with a different level of significance when the Board of Education has kind of endorsed these as their areas of focus. So in terms of eSteam 4.0, I have some ideas, but the beauty of our work is that if this is an area of focus, it'll continue regardless. That's our work. But if this is an area of focus, we'll certainly bring our teams within the buildings together, hear their ideas. The best ideas come from our teachers. They have such brilliant and creative ideas, and most of what I present to you, they've done. It's come from them, and it's come from within the classrooms. And so if it's an area of focus, is it eSteam 4.0? Is it just eSteam? We'll continue to work through that. What's the next level of our work? I would love to be able to present the board and our community with some ideas, but I'd want to cultivate that within our faculty and hear what they have to say, because they just impress me each year.
Dr. Hutter, is there, I agree on carrying over the 5. I think that they're all important and timely and can continue to be advanced in the district. But is there an area where you see that we're lacking in our district that we should add?
Like a 6th area of focus?
If need be. I'm just, and the answer could be no. You're in the trenches, right? You're there day to day. You hear from the staff. Is there something that we're missing?
I think the vast majority of what we do is covered in some genre, whether it's a social emotional health and the mental health, the bullying piece. That's really important to us. The cultural awareness and equity work, we certainly need to continue, in my estimation, respectfully, we need to continue that and really make strides in the 23-24 school year. Safety and security is something that always comes up, and I believe it was a discussion item during the last school year when the board was setting areas of focus. But we're going to do safety and security to the best of our ability anyway. It's too important to, whether it's an area of focus or not, we're going to give it our full attention. Those are areas that, and one of the areas that the high school has taken on, which, whether it's an area of focus or not, it's important, is student connectedness to their school. Having children feel connected to an adult in the building, to a program in the building, to a teacher in the building, a counselor, whatever it may be. And so I feel that that's important, student connectedness to their school. But in terms of other ideas for an area of focus, I do think that those are big and really robust areas for us to focus on.
Student connectedness could fall under the wellness.
It does.
Right.
It falls under student wellness, but it's so big and so important that I could make the argument that it's a standalone piece as well. But yes, we certainly incorporate that under student wellness.
Would you want to add a sixth area of focus and add that in as a standalone? I mean,
Do whatever the board.
well, the board
whatever
could
the
do an
wishes
area
are.
of focus. It puts more work on you,
That's,
so.
that's whatever it is, we're happy to do.
What do you guys think?
I think the 5 areas are fabulous. But I do think within the 5 areas, maybe identifying 1 or 2 things that are more metrically driven to where we can really evaluate when they're met or working or not met and things like. And so I just, again, think metrics are a big thing. And if there's a way to kind of create that kind of accountability within the goals, I think it's always helpful.
Dr. Hatter, I wanted to piggyback a little bit off of what you just said, as well as what Pete said about having some, just, I guess, some data or something to quantify. One of the first presentations we had last school year was about, in the high school, Mr. DeGennaro brought in his staff about the students feeling connected, and I know you just referred to that. Would it be possible to get a follow-up on that presentation so that we could see where they're at this point? And like Pete said, we could, sort of put in some measures to see how much progress we've made and to see if we need to expand this into any of the other
I
schools.
think that's a great idea. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That'd be
So does it make sense then to have student connectedness be a standalone? At least for a year, to see if there's measures put in place or not?
I mean, I think it might be a good idea because if what you're saying, Dr. Hatter, is at the opening of school, you post these for the entire staff to see. Yeah, you can say, of course, that falls under the wellness umbrella, but it really is important that the kids feel connected because even if that means that you help one child who feels lost, then that's important, So, I mean, if you're in favor of it, Dr. Hatter, I would say yes.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the idea. I was talking to Brian about my vision for this year. It was better than normal. We wanted to be better than normal, give children a better than normal experience. We're still trying to think. I gave Brian the idea, and we're working on language. And what we're looking at is every person has a story. Every student has a story to tell. And every staff member has a story to tell, a unique story to tell. How do we embrace that story? How do we celebrate that story? Each of our 3,400 children and 600 staff, they all have a story. How do we embrace that? How do we celebrate that? So we're just looking for better than normal was what we came up with for last year. We're looking for how to package that from a marketing standpoint. But and I think it goes to student connectedness. It really does go to student connectedness where they feel that there's somebody they look forward to going to school to see each day and someone who they know will be a champion for them. I think that's powerful.
I want to piggyback off of Lisa. I think that is an important connection. I know different districts do send out, district-wide surveys to students to see how connected they are. And I think if that's a goal, that's one way we could quantify how, a certain goal in that. So I think it is important.
I think it should be district-wide, though, not just
No, it's
the high
district-wide.
school. Yeah.
Right.
Mike, what are your thoughts?
I agree with a lot of what's been said. I'm fine adding one. I'm glad you brought up the piece that you just did, Dr. Hatter, because one of the things that's going in my head as I'm listening is I think we've made great strides on the communication piece. So I was wondering, where does that go next? And does it need to continue to be a standalone, goal? Or is it just now part of what we're doing? I mean, we've done a lot already there. So if you have things that you want to continue to do and you want to keep communication as a goal, I'm fine with it. But if you want to replace it with, a new way of looking at it, I'm open to that. I think that's okay.
Communications is like security. Yeah. We're going to do that regardless. Bringing Brian on has been so great for our school district, and he's added just another dimension to our communication. So whether you decide that you'd like to continue as an area of focus, or even if it's not an area of focus, we're still going to try to meet that mark at the highest level to just make sure that our community has the information that they deserve to have.
But I think it's different levels of communication. So yes, the communications we were talking about last year was more transparency with the community, but there's communications within the buildings, with parents, there's all kinds of communications that we need to get better at, so that could be drilled down to other areas, not just what Brian does. And I think that maybe if we expand
Without a
it,
doubt, yeah. But that, my point is, it's going to happen regardless. We want to communicate with families, with staff. We want to always try to do that to the best of our ability. So whether it's an area of focus or it's not an area of focus, it still will be an area of focus for us.
Right, but I think it's important that the staff knows that that's something the board values, whether it's board communication with the community, or the school communication with the community, or, as Jackie said, internal communication. Really, in my mind, communication is the creation of a great district or the downfall of a great district. So I think it's an important area.
Okay. Any other thoughts? No? Okay. All right. That's what happens when you start with good goals. Board action items. And have a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the June 12, 2023 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the treasurer's report for May 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the extra classroom report for May 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to amend the 2023-24 Board of Education meeting calendar. And this is to do two things. One is BOCES changed their annual meeting date to April 16th. It's another Tuesday. And also, there's a change to when we're doing the large presentations at the end of the year to move those to the high school. So those are the changes on the calendar.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Records retention. Whereas the records retention and disposition schedule for New York State local government records provides for the destruction of such ballots after 1 year from the date of the annual budget and vote and election, and whereas 1 year has elapsed from the dates of 2020, 21, and 22 annual budget votes and elections held on June 16th, 2020, May 18th, 2021, May 17th, 2022, and no proceedings have commenced with regard to such annual votes and elections. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Yorktown Central School District hereby orders the destruction of all cast ballots and other election vote-related materials permitted to be disposed of from the annual vote and elections.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think we talked about this at policy. And the reason for it, my understanding, is space, right? It's not that we're trying to destroy records, but there's a space issue with the clerk's office and maintaining everything. And my recollection of the discussion at policy was that we are going beyond what we're actually legally required to do. Like, so for example, the petitions that are filed by potential trustees is legally required to be maintained for a year, but we thought it would be best for the term of that trustee that they were elected that we would keep the petitions. Is that accurate? Am I recalling that conversation right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so we're keeping some things that we could destroy, but we are keeping them. And then there are some records that, even though we're destroying the paper records, they are still electronic anyway, such as the votes, because we're using the bold system and things like that.
Right. So if we destroy the paper because legally it said we could and we need the space, there's still a way to pull that information if for some reason
Yes.
we needed to have it.
Correct.
Okay.
But we are retaining the petitions for the 3-year terms.
Right.
I have a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Policy adoption. A motion to approve the second reading and adoption of the following policy. 5300, the Code of Conduct. Finally.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everybody, for that. That was a bear. Thank you, Cheryl. First reads, the board will conduct a first reading on the following policies: 4321.4, independent educational evaluations; 4321.4R, its regulation; 4321.5, confidentiality and access to individualized educational programs; 4321.12, use of timeout rooms and physical restraints; 4327, home instruction. Does anybody have any questions or comments on the policies?
No.
No? Okay. Personnel. Can I have upon recommendation of the superintendent, a motion that the following resolutions be approved? I have A through H.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Upon recommendation of the superintendent, a motion that the following be approved. We have certified personnel appointments, part-time appointments, extra duty, summer curriculum hours, additions to the sub-list, teaching stipend, unpaid leave of absence, coaches and co-curricular. I think that's the wrong year. It's not the 21-22 year on that. Volunteers, removal from the substitute list, some resignations, and under classified personnel, we have civil service appointments, addition to the substitute list, and a leave of absence.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Business office, resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent, the president of the Board of Ed is hereby authorized to execute the agreement with R.S. Abrams for external auditing services in the amount of $34,000.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to extend the contract with Aramark Food Service Management effective July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the amendment 22-23A to the rental contract with Soaring Eagle Physical Therapy for the month of July 2023 for space at French Hill.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to approve it's 23-24 agreements for videography services as follows. GMG Creative Group at a rate of $40 an hour. Jason Bucalo at a rate of $40 an hour.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education hereby authorizes superintendent to execute agreement with Student Assistance Services Corp. for comprehensive educational prevention and intervention services in the amount not to exceed $80,732.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the YHS athletic trip to Albany, Schenectady for a cross-country competition on October 7th and 8th of 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the transportation agreement with Red Oak Transportation for the Yorktown High School Aeronautics Club to Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby authorizes superintendent to establish the following rates of pay for the 2023-24 school year. They are listed below.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the following contract for health and welfare services provided to resident pupils attending non-public schools in other districts for the 22-23 school year.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the budget transfers listed below.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A rejection of a bid. Whereas the Board of Education, in accordance with Article 5A of General Municipal Law, invited sealed bids for athletic uniform reconditioning contract, which bids were opened publicly on June 29, 2023, and whereas only one bid was received, whereas the Board of Education believes it is in the best interest of the school district to reject the athletic uniforms conditioning contract bid and rebid this contract, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education, in the best interest of the school district, hereby rejects the bid for athletic uniform contract and directs the Assistant Superintendent for Business to rebid the contract.
So moved.
Discussion.
You need a second first.
Second discussion.
Second.
Now discussion.
Discussion. With something like this, what happens if we put it out for bid again and we only get one bid again? Does timing come into play where we have to get the equipment reconditioned in a certain period of time?
Yes and no, because if this carries on too long, then yes. Our fall uniforms are already back for
Okay.
reconditioning, so there's not a time crunch for the summer. Those, generally, the equipment, the uniforms go out as soon as the season ends or shortly after the season ends, and we have them back before school lets out for summer. So for the fall season, I believe we have everything back. Everything for winter has gone out. I believe that's back. Spring went out recently.
So this is way in.
So this is kind of a year down the road, but if we keep going through this process, yes, there can be a time crunch that comes into play.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Curriculum and instruction, a motion to approve the following Yorktown Congress of Teachers professional improvement proposals as listed below.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Special ed, A motion to approve the CSE Committee on Special Education members for the 23-24 school year.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Individual contracts, a motion to approve the attached amendment and contract to the following vendor agreements for the 23-24 school year. They are listed below.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to arrange the following placements as of July 10th, 2023.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I oppose. Gifts, grants, and donations. A motion to accept with gratitude the following gifts, grants, and donations at Crampon. $21,500 from the Crampon PTA for materials and supplies for an outdoor classroom.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. Thank you very much for that generous donation. We're up to board comments. Pete?
I know this is the last meeting till August, so just everyone enjoy your summer.
Thank you. Catalina?
Well, thank you again to the community, because I was sworn in. I was lucky enough to already have been to a few meetings. I'm still learning from everybody here, and I am excited to hear the different, we're going to add that community, not the community piece, the connection piece for next year as an area of focus, and working on that educational vision committee to see, so.
Thank you. Mike?
Well, I agree with Catalina and welcome her again to the board. Appreciate the community support as well. Pete's right. This is our last meeting. Hopefully we have a good summer. I also want to recognize Lisa's comments earlier about leadership on the board. I do think it's important, and I do think we should have a plan at some point to figure out how we're going to be able to transition some of us who have been here a long time into a different role. So thank you.
Rashmi?
Yeah, I hope everyone is safe and well after yesterday's rain. Congratulations, Mike, on another term. And to Catalina, congratulations. Thank you, Lisa and Cheryl, for the nomination. I am honored, and I look forward to working with you all. And congratulations to our high school aeronautics team, off to nationals in a couple of weeks. For a first-year team, I think that's phenomenal. So wish them the best and have a wonderful summer.
Cheryl?
Yeah, congratulations to Catalina and Mike. We're glad to have you on, Mike, for another year, and Catalina, another welcome. I know we've talked about this a couple weeks ago when the election was first over. And I also want to say thank you to someone as we end one school year and begin another. Her name came up a lot tonight, and she sits behind the video screen over there. Yvette, your name came up a few times tonight. I don't think people quite realize how much you do for us and the level of support you give us, because we really couldn't do what we do without you. So I really want to say thank you to you, and I'm glad we have you here, obviously, for another year. But, it was, it's time to say thanks at the end of one year as we begin another. So we always enjoy working with you. Thank you for all you do for us.
Lisa?
So, Mr. Rosen, is this your last meeting?
No.
Okay, so we'll see you in August. All right. We got that in writing, right? He'll be at the next one. Okay, good. So I was going to say something to you, but I'll save it. I want to say thank you to Dr. Hatter and the entire team that pivoted that graduation as not only a board trustee, but a parent of a senior who graduated. You guys did an amazing job. You never would have known that you had planned 3 events all at one time because it went off without a hitch. It was a beautiful ceremony. Your words were so kind. So thank you for everything you did for that graduating class. I really, on a personal level, appreciate what you did.
I'll convey that to the building as well.
Please. And to Jackie and Mike, my nomination earlier was not intended to be a slight, but only my concern about a succession plan, and means nothing in terms of what I think about the two of you and the job you've done. I think you do an amazing job. I hope you never leave the board. But reality is, at some point, we have to figure out how that's going to go. So thank you for continuing on. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So Lisa, you're right. Graduation went over beautifully, and from someone who sat at the last one in the gym, it was night and day. So it was a huge thank you to the administration and the high school for everything they did. And and it's a shout out that we have a gym that could actually handle it this time. So yeah. So it was great. And we had 3 trustees who had kids who graduated, so it was a really special day. So it was exciting.
It really was.
Congratulations, Mike and Catalina. 3 years together, it'll be very nice. Thank you, everybody, for all your hard work. I mean, board committees, setting goals and stuff, it's a lot of work, so I appreciate the work of the entire board, so I thank you all. And happy summer. We're going to go on to Ron, Lisa, Deidre, anything? So, public comment, anybody? So I'm going to ask for a motion to go into executive session for the matters for a particular pedagogical employee with no intention to return to public session.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all. Good night.